Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I'm gonna do something totally different than like all my other videos. All my other videos have been super makeup related and my dog's looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. I'm talking to myself. I'm not, I have friends, okay? Anyways, so this video is gonna be totally different from my other videos. My other videos have been makeup related or beauty related. But this is a video that's like been requested many times from people that like follow me on Instagram and stuff. And that is my son, Brayden, his birth story, kind of like my labor and delivery and just like that whole shebang, which it's a lot. I had to like write stuff down so that I could like stay on track or else I would be all over the fucking place. So for those of you that don't know, I have an 8-year-old son and his name is Brayden, and we are like so thrilled that he's gonna be a big brother finally. It's so weird though because it's literally always been me and him. Always just me and him. And I'm nervous to have another one, but I'm so excited to see what kind of relationship they have and like how he's gonna be with her. He just loves her so much already and he's so excited. I just know that he's gonna be so helpful and he's gonna be great. Like already, even like throughout my pregnancy, he's been amazing. Like I don't know what I would do without him. But yeah, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about Brayden's whole story, about me, like me being pregnant so young and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start there. I'm 23, Brayden's 8 years old. I'm almost 24. But I got pregnant with Brayden when I was 15 and I had him right before my 16th birthday. Being so young and pregnant, it was definitely scary. And probably one of the hardest things that I've ever gone through. But now I'm glad that I went through all of it just because it made me so much stronger and like such a better person. And now I'm more educated and I can educate my kids about it, and I'm just really grateful that it happened. And I would never regret having Brayden ever. Like he saved my life. Before I had him, I was not going down like a very good path in life, and I was really young and, you know, wild and fucking just young and wild. If you knew me back then, I'm so sorry. But it is what it is. So I'm gonna start out by telling you guys how I found out I was pregnant and also how I told my parents. At first, like, I had no idea that I was pregnant because I was still spotting, and like, I mean, I feel like that happens a lot. Girls will like spot and then mistake it for their period and like, oh, they're like, oh, I'm not pregnant, great. But that wasn't the case with me. I was still spotting and stuff, and being so young, I had no idea what it felt like to be pregnant, or like, I had no idea what was going on with my body. I was still so tiny and didn't have any symptoms up until like, I was like 20 weeks pregnant. And then at that point, I had dropped out of school because I was staying home sick, which I wasn't sick, it was morning sickness. Or all day sickness, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I had dropped out of school because I was sick. And people had started to notice that I was gaining weight, and I was gaining weight in my face, not my body, my face. I was getting fat and gross, and I was wearing baggy clothing to like cover up my stomach. And people were asking, and then I started to like think like, holy fuck, like, I had been with Brayden's dad for like years before I got pregnant, and I like thought about it and I was like, holy shit, like I don't think this is gas anymore. I'm pretty sure that these are like baby kicks, because I don't know, but I was just stupid back then. I had no idea. But one day my mom came to me and she was like, you've been homesick for a long time. I was like, I'm sick. I wasn't sick. She was like, I'm gonna give you some medicine if you're sick. If you're sick, you need to be taking medicine. I was like, whatever. So she gave me some Dayquil. I took the Dayquil and I immediately puked it up. Like, I could not even swallow it. I immediately threw up. And she came in the bathroom and I was like throwing up and I was a fucking hot mess. And she was like, "Are you pregnant?" I was like, "You know what? I don't know. I don't know." She's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna go get you tests right now." So she jumped in the car, went and got tests, brought back 2. And I went upstairs to the bathroom, took the test, and of course they were like immediately positive. Like that. If you guys can hear any noise, it's the fucking door. I have my window open and the wind makes it move. Anyways, so they turned positive immediately. And I didn't want to face my mom and like go down and tell her like, "Hey, I'm pregnant, like these are positive." Like, I was way too scared. So I tried to like take a picture of them and like text them to her so that she could like see, so she knew before I came down, but that didn't end up working. I waited like 10 minutes, went downstairs, and I was like, she's like, "So?" She's like literally waiting at the end of the stairs for me, and she's just standing there like, "So?" And I was like, "You didn't get my text." She's like, "I don't have my phone on me." I was like, "Oh, well." I kind of just shook my head. If y'all know my mom, you know she's crazy. So she started laughing. Like, she was like, "Holy shit." Like, immediately I was like, "I'm gonna get an abortion. I can't do this. I'm too young. I'm gonna get an abortion." I was just like, I was so young and scared. And I was like, "I'm gonna get an abortion. There's no way that I could do this." And that's that. And so the next day, I told my mom not to tell my dad because my dad was like my biggest fear. Like, I was like, "Oh my God, he's gonna fucking hate me. He's gonna disown me. Like, what am I gonna do? I cannot tell him. Like, I cannot face him." So the next day we went to Planned Parenthood, and me and my mom agreed that she would tell him because I was too chicken shit to do it. It was me, Braden's dad Tyler, and his mom, and my mom. And we were all at Planned Parenthood, and they have like this conference room that you guys can go, like people can go into and like discuss, you know, like whatever situation it is, but you guys can like discuss what's going on, and it's private. So I went there immediately. Like, I was like, "I'm getting an abortion. Like, there's no way that I can have a baby. Way too fucking young. And I'm terrified. And I just can't." But we sat down and we all talked, and then Tyler's mom, she like breaks down and starts crying. And she was like, "You know what? I cannot imagine you like ever aborting my grandchild." And that's exactly what she said to me. And that still like haunts me. It doesn't haunt me, but I think about it all the time, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that she said that. I am so glad that she said that. And I look at Braden now and I'm just like, what the hell would I do without you? Like, what would I do? I don't know what I would be. I really don't. So that was that. And then we made an appointment for the next day to like see how far along I was, because we had no idea. I had no idea. So we go to the doctor, I lay on the bed, they put that goop on my stomach, and then he puts the thing on my stomach, and immediately you see a fucking full-size baby. It's not no alien-looking baby thing. It's a full baby. I was 26 weeks pregnant when I found out and came out to my family. 26 weeks. And they're like, "Do you want to know the sex?" And I was like, "What?" My first ultrasound ever. They're like, "Do you want to know the sex?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." Like, they're like, "You're having a little boy." And then everyone that was in the room, which was, it was just my mom and Braden's dad, but everyone started freaking out and like crying. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is real. This is happening. There's a fucking baby with a penis inside of me. Like, it's real. It's crazy." Sorry if I'm breathing hard. I'm fucking pregnant right now, and how convenient. I'm fucking pregnant right now and I can never breathe. So that's amazing. So my pregnancy with him was very hard. It was very hard because, one, I was so young, and I've always had a really hard time with depression depression and anxiety. And you know, when you're pregnant, your hormones, they like triple. You just a crazy mess everywhere. Braden's dad and I, we've always had a really terrible relationship. Like, yeah, there were good times, but most of it was just like, he was like my first boyfriend ever. Like, I was so in love with him. Like, he was my first everything. Like, I lost my virginity to this guy. Like, he was my first like makeout session. Like, I loved him to death back then, and it was really hard. Like, he has never been like a faithful boyfriend. I just remember being at home all the time, sitting in front of the TV, getting fat, eating spaghetti, crying, watching 16 and Pregnant. I literally did that. That was literally my life. It was just terrifying, and it was scary, and it was hard, and I've never cried so much in my entire life. Like, my whole pregnancy was just like a big cry session, I swear to God. But it was really hard, and I was going through a lot of depression and anxiety. I just felt really alone. And then, like, out of nowhere, someone told me that there was a place called the Teen Parent Program, and it was also like an early college program, both in the same building, but it's like, I don't know. So I enrolled, and it was immediately like great. Like, it was so great to be around girls that were going through the same thing as me, girls that were like feeling the same way that I was feeling, and there were just so many like resources, and it was like an amazing place. I probably would not have graduated high school had it not been for that place, but it was amazing. And even after Brayden was born, they have daycares like on site. If you're breastfeeding, you can go like walk to your baby, breastfeed, go back to class. There were times that I even had to take Brayden to class with me because there wasn't a spot in the daycare like for him yet, and nobody cared. When I started going there is like really when I started like taking my education seriously, and it's like really when I started getting good grades and stuff. And I'm like, I need to graduate. I need to get my diploma. I need Brayden to see that I did this, so that when he's older, I can, you know, tell him that there's no excuse. I did. I ended up graduating high school with my diploma on time, despite dropping out 2 times. I graduated with a 3.25, which is amazing. Before I went to Teen Parent, I'm pretty sure I had like straight F's. Like, it was bad. But yeah, Teen Parent Program definitely changed my life. So now let's talk about my labor and delivery with him. I was a week overdue with Brayden. I was due May 11th and he came May 16th. I had stayed the night at his dad's house, and I woke up in the middle of the night like thinking that I peed myself. I was like, why am I peeing myself? Like, I haven't peed my pants like this whole pregnancy. Like, why am I peeing myself now? And then I started having contractions after that. And I noticed that the liquid that was coming out of me, it wasn't pee, it was clear, and it was like foggy, and just, it did not look like pee. Sorry if that's too much information, but. And I went back in the room and I slept through the night. Well, I tried to sleep through the night, but I was having contractions, which I didn't know I was having at the time. But I woke up in the morning and I was like in pain, and Brayden's dad was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay, but I think there's something wrong." He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, I've been leaking all night, and I'm pretty sure I'm having contractions now." So then we started to time them, and he could put his hand on my stomach and feel that like my stomach would get like fucking rock solid when I would be having a contraction. I was having contractions every like 3 minutes, and so I called my mom from his house and I was like, "I'm pretty sure I'm in labor." She's like freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, I gotta go to the hospital right now." I was like, "No, I need to go and shave my vagina. I need to go and shower. I'm not gonna have doctors all up in my kuka when it's not cute. Like, I'm not gonna do that." So I went home and showered and I shaved. I don't know how I did that. Probably didn't do that good of a job, but I did it and it made me feel better. And then we went to the hospital, and then they confirmed that I was in labor and my water had broke. It was just like a really slow leak. And then I was in hard labor for a really long time, and I went a really long time without getting an epidural, and then I did. And the doctor fucked my epidural up, like it didn't work at all. And I've had back problems ever since, but that's like, I feel like that's a whole nother video, but I got an epidural and I was in labor for like 48 hours. And then my doctor finally came in the room to like check and see like how much progress I was making, like if I was dilated or not. And after like 48 hours, he came in, he's like, you're 3 centimeters. I was like, 3? What the fuck? What kind of shit is this? 3? And then he's like, yeah. He's like, so I think because you're not making any progress, we're gonna get you ready and prepped for a C-section. I was like, do whatever you gotta fucking do, get this baby out, like this hurts. So we got all ready, and then I remember them taking me to the room and then poking my foot with like a knife, and I had gotten an epidural, so they didn't know if they were gonna need to like give me more numbing or if it was gonna work enough for them to do the C-section. And I was like, I can feel everything that you're doing right now. And so they put me to sleep, and that's all I remember. They put me to sleep, and apparently they had to use a vacuum to get him out of my C-section because he was so big. He was almost 9 pounds. He was 8 pounds, 12 ounces, and he was 22 inches long, so he was huge. And I didn't get to see him, and I didn't wake up from being completely under 2 hours after he came out. So that always makes me sad. I always think about that. Like, I wasn't the first person to hold him or anything like that because I was completely out, and I get really sad about that. But then I'm like, you know what? They had to do what they had to do. It's me. I have bad luck. I have complications. Like, they had to do what they had to do. And yeah, I remember like waking up and looking over, and like I had a really hot nurse in there. I was like, hi. And she was like, hey. And I was like, hey. You know, I was super loopy. And she was like, how are you feeling? And like, I was like, I feel really good. And she's like, yeah. She's like, you had your baby. I like looked at my stomach. I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, yeah, you did. He's a big boy. They're gonna bring him in right now. I was like, oh my God. And the doors open, they rolled him in, and I immediately started bawling my eyes out. I bawled my eyes out. And they're like, he needs to eat. So they whipped my tits out in front of everybody, put him on my boob, and he started eating. I have pictures of all of it. I can try to find them and put them in, but I just remember that moment like perfectly, even though I had just like woken up from being put under. It was like the best moment of my entire life, and it makes me emotional even thinking about it because like there's literally not a feeling like it, and I'm really excited to experience it again. Hopefully they don't have to put me under this time. Hopefully it'll go a little more according to plan. And hopefully she won't be bigger than Brayden was, but it was an experience for sure. And they had stitches and staples in my stomach. I was in the hospital for 4 days after I had him because apparently, which thank God I wasn't awake for this or I probably would have freaked out, but he came out and he wasn't breathing on his own. And he would start breathing and stop breathing and start, and then he turned purple, and the doctor was like, okay, if he doesn't start breathing like right now, he needs to go to the NICU. Because he just wasn't breathing on his own. And then he finally started breathing on his own, and then he was fine. But they wanted us to stay for, you know, so-and-so days because they wanted to make sure that he was okay and everything was good and, you know, nothing was gonna happen. Which thank God that we stayed, because I remember a couple times that I had to call the nurses in because he was turning like purple because he wasn't breathing. Apparently, like a lot of C-section babies have like a lot of stuff in their throat. Like I don't know what it's called. There's like a word for it. I don't know. And that was that. I was a mom at 15. And it was just a crazy journey. So he's 8 years old now. And he's like the light of my life. He's like my best friend. He's 8 years old going on like 16. He's got like the attitude of a 16-year-old. Me and him argue all the time. I'm just like, why are you arguing with me? Like, I'm your mom. Like, you're not a teenager yet. Like, stop. He's done t-ball. He's done soccer. Next, he wants to do flag football. He loves soccer. He didn't like t-ball as much, but he loves soccer. He's really into Fortnite, which what kid isn't these days? He loves Roblox. He loves drawing. He's such a good drawer. He's just amazing. He's gonna be in 3rd grade this year, which is fucking crazy to me. I swear he was just in like preschool, and now he's just a big 3rd grader. And he's the smartest kid I've ever met in my entire life. Last year they actually had him in like a 2nd, 3rd grade class, like mix-up class. So they put like the couple like more advanced students like in with the third graders, and there was only like a few, and Brayden was one of them. He gets his highest grades in music. He loves singing, he loves music. He's actually a pretty good singer, and he just loves music, like any instrument and stuff, which he definitely takes after me in that way. He gets principal awards all the time, he gets music awards all the time, he gets math awards, tons and tons of awards all the time, and it makes me really happy. And I really love the school that he's been going to. It's been amazing. His teachers have always been really good at communicating with me. He actually likes school. It's really weird because I hated school, but he loves it. He does great, and that makes me really happy. My pregnancy with him was so much different than my pregnancy right now. Just because, I don't know, just because it's like, I'm having a girl now, he's a boy. With him, I was way more sick and way more like tired. Granted, I'm tired now, like, and I can't breathe, but I feel normal. I had morning sickness for like a week with her, and it went away. My head space is just in a different place than it was when I was 15, obviously. Like, I've matured a lot more, and I'm a lot more ready than I was back then, of course. We're just really excited to have a little girl around, and she's gonna be so loved, and just like Brayden was. I'm so excited. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take you guys into Brayden's room, and I'm gonna show you his wall, because it has a lot of his like awards on it and his pictures and drawings and stuff like that. And I'm definitely one of those like hoarding moms that keeps everything. This is what I do. Like, I keep every single thing of his throughout the year. I don't throw it away, not even like homework and like nothing. I don't throw it away. So by the end of the year, it's like stacked, and then I go through it and like keep things that I want to keep, but I keep everything. And I mean, that's a good thing. And I feel like when my kids are older, I'm gonna be able to like give it to them and be like, look, you did this. And Brayden like loves looking at stuff like that. Like, he loves looking at his baby book, he loves looking at like his scrapbook, he loves looking at his awards and like seeing his achievements. And I feel like it's so important for kids to see those things. But anyways, I'm gonna go take you and I'm gonna show you his room. So this is Brayden's wall. This was one of his like little drawings that he did. This is another one. And here's a principal award. This was him last year. This was him last year. His name tag from last year, his T-ball award. This is from first grade, I think. No. Yeah, first grade. This was also first grade. And then this is first grade. Look at that little face. But there's his little hand and a couple of his music awards. He has a lot more, but I didn't want to like cover his wall in music awards, but yeah, he loves music. And then just some more of his little drawings, and like, he just loves it. These are lamb bucks. I put this right here so that he can just put them in there like for next year. Lamb bucks are like you can trade them in for like little goodies and stuff when you're good, and then you get lamb bucks. It's pretty cool. And he's done a lot of good things, as you can see, so he has these ready for next year so he can get some goodies. And then this was his T-ball jersey. I haven't hung up his soccer jersey yet. I don't really know where I'm gonna hang it up, but yeah, I put this one right here just because I thought it was really cute. And he played for Parish Little League, which is like a huge baseball league here in Salem where we live. But yeah, it's Brayden's little wall of just some of the stuff. This is like not even like a smidge of the shit that I have for him, but these are just like the important cute things, and he like loves to look at this wall and like see all the things that he's done, and it makes him really happy. And yeah. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm in his room right now, that's his bunk bed. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.